you think needs to be assessed from a regulatory standpoint there?
I'm not going to go through it now, but they should be asking a lot of questions of themselves. Like whenever we make a mistake, we spend a lot of time on what I call the after-action report, the post-mortem. What did we do wrong? What can we do better? How do we make sure we're doing that across our company? We know we're going to make mistakes. So I don't think we should treat every mistake like, it's a violation of morality or something like that. But I think they should be doing a little bit of that, a little soul searching.
Do you think there is an appetite among regulators and an appetite among the C-suite to do more consolidation in the industry?
I think some companies need to. And I think, again, I hear, consolidation, et cetera. It's a dynamic system. It's not a static system. They say there's 4,000, they merge, they're all getting bigger. There are a lot of big companies that have gotten smaller because they didn't do a good job. There are a lot of new companies, Marcus, Ally Bank, PayPal, Apple, basically is a bank today. There are a lot of startups. I just drove by a bank, that here, I'm sure it's a startup bank. And some middle-sized banks and small banks want to merge because they can do a better job for their customers or diversify their base more. It's a dynamic system. Let it happen. And it's a great system. America has the best financial system in the world. And the other thing I should say about regulations is, and I really do mean this, hedge funds and private equity are dancing in the streets because they're just going to pick up a lot of business because of this. But we do have the best system in the world, including private equity, hedge funds, venture capital, middle market companies. It's extraordinary. That strength is part of the strength of America. And part of what America free enterprise is the most important part, it's not the money, it's the people. It's people starting things and growing things and moving places and having dreams and being allowed to further those dreams, which has risk. Sometimes you make a loan has risk. We want to make some risky loans. We want to help Bridger Photonics accomplish our goals and serve their clients. And yeah, sometimes, we make a mistake or something like that, though I think that's a great company. I'm not referring to them, so.
Well, yeah. What kind of music do you think they're going to be dancing to? Because, that is the big criticism of increasing capital requirements is that it's going to send business to the non-bank financials, the unregulated sector of the economy.
Yeah, so that's not always bad. I'm not against competition, but the mortgage business is now 80% outside of banks. Okay, and that, I don't know what it's going to do with the rest of that. It makes it hard to do small business loans. It makes it hard to do some risky loans. And obviously, a lot of that's going to go to the non-banking system. That may not be all bad, but again, people should be analyzing the consequences and saying, we want that to happen because it's better for America and the citizens of America. I've never heard that statement. I think a lot of these things are done without any forethought about the ultimate consequences and very little calibration. We really need to be very thought about how we're doing things. So, the banking system's been, this has been going on now for 15 years. And maybe we should take a deep breath and analyze and think about it. If you look at our regulatory system, it's not just, I have this chart, I don't want to have it. I was going to show it to, can you hand it to me? Thank you.
Thank you, Judy.
I made this chart, and people made fun of me about our regulatory systems for banks. And I don't know if you can see that up close. There are so many people involved, there's cross responsibilities, no one's really responsible. And I'm not showing this because of banks. I'm showing this because we're doing this for building bridges, opening schools, building roads, starting companies, starting small businesses. We shouldn't be crippling America with stuff. We don't recalibrate regulations all the time. What we really should be doing is, what's the best thing that works, acknowledging flaws, making modifications. We don't do it. And I believe that some of this stuff has slowed down the growth of America. I wrote in my chairman's letter, for 20 years we've grown at 1.7%. Had we grown at 3%, which is definitely what we can get done, we'd have 15,000 more per person GDP, which, by the way, is the GDP per person of China. Ours is 80, theirs is 15. We would have been 95 today had we done stuff. I think this stuff has really slowed it down. Bad policy making, bad regulations, thoughtless type of stuff. It's easy to just pile more stuff on people. George McGovern, the most liberal guy who ever ran for president, wrote an op-ed, I think in the Wall Street Journal, after he ran for president, after he was a senator. He bought a small inn somewhere, and I think it was entitled, "If I'd Only Known How Much These Things Hurt My Ability to Do Business." He spoke about OSHA and litigation and the ability to hire kids and all these things. Maybe a bunch of people should ask that question. What do I need to know to understand the impact of these things on America? And the reason you want to grow America is because it is the foundation of helping our lower paid citizens too. And so I think we should do a better job taking care of lower paid individuals. I would double the earned income tax credit. But a healthy economy is the foundation of everything, including a stronger military. And so I think we got to spend a little more time about how do we grow the economy and make it better for everybody. And unfortunately, there are a lot of policy issues in D.C. People look at JPMorgan Chase. We're not the reason that inner city schools are failing. And I think people should be a little more thoughtful about what they actually want to accomplish and how you can lift up. So I think if you fix inner city schools, and by that I mean kids should graduate with a livelihood, paying $55,000 a year, I think that's doable. If you do that, change the earned tax credit, I would tax carried interest too, you can fix America. And that's exactly what we should be doing.